Yes, welcome back. You are still watching your favorite program, NTV People's Parliament, chaired by none other than your speaker, Agnes Nandutu. We are in Karamoja sub-region, in Moroto district, discussing land question and minerals in this place. Honorable members, let me hear from you, please.
So I would like to submit, honorable members, one or two issues. There are issues on land around border disputes. I think most of us here have registered a number of border disputes between sub-counties, between districts, and across the region. There are really border disputes which we really need support from the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Lands. This has really escalated more conflicts within the communities. Take, for example, the case of Napak and Katakwe. This was as a result of the border dispute, which was not resolved for a long time. So there's really need for the ministry to come up with short-term strategies on how to resolve some of these disputes over land. Madam Speaker, I'm also aware that there are issues around conflicts. Now, previously we used to conflict over livestock. Now the conflict has become on land. Everywhere in Karamoja it is land, which is a conflict. Conflict between UA and the communities, conflict between investors and communities, the Karamojong elites and the communities. So all these conflicts are really creating a big gap within the community. And these are issues which we need to address through this parliament. So, Honorable Speaker, it's our plea that the Ministry of Lands, together with the survey sector, take keen interest in supporting the communities in terms of opening of the boundaries between the different sub-counties.
Okay, thank you.
Also, the other issue is all these conflicts will continue being in place if we don't have an infrastructure. Mexico and other partners have worked closely with the Office of the Prime Minister to develop the peace policy, which peace policy could provide an opportunity for us to be able to deal with some of these disputes. But there's a delay in fastening the process to pass this peace policy. Again, through this parliament, we'd like to pass the message that we'd like to let government fasten the process of passing the peace policy, which could provide a platform for dispute resolution within the communities.
Hello, monitor akrati nepon. Arana kwa pa kwa dang rupayo. Makra ngalupu roda, ara rupayo lo mutoto mera ngalupu dadang. Ekrikaro ga bari ne boy mabon. Yela nya ngalupu angari mojo. Na pe ko ale muna puka na tamari be jebri ni nyamata kwa pa ngalupu ko de. Alo muto ma ngalupu, alo mutal to me bari ne boy mabon. Getela da dangu de yakadi Uganda. Ema mnyeria muto ngichano kwa edwa. Ekaloma kidwa bukari na pepa na tamarto le majato me Karamoja uka to me pari ki gwelti mwana kwa pakole. Aruto kidi ngiro da danye torna to mer ko tel kangatu. Ana be na mare ni amabolo e welo roba gi yarawani. Imo mu adan e beluka yari. Ha tu dan e beluka yari. Hala mu ko na kolon. E tambu ni Karamoja.
Please come and translate for me.
The issue, the land question in Karamoja has become something that is rampant in the approach of conflict. Every day, for him as being someone who hails from Rupa, Rupa is the most affected. And they used not to have land conflicts just because of the emergence of this nascent mining sector. It has now found that there is marble, there is limestone, and it has now exacerbated a lot of conflicts on land. Okay. And he says, the days when they were not disarmed, there were no land conflicts. I think the gun was playing a role in delaying the process. And now that is gone, even the cow has gone, even their livelihood has changed. They are moving towards the west. So
the discovery of minerals have brought more land problems in Karamoja.
I am Akot Christine. I am the Woman Councillor of Moroto Municipality, as well as the District Vice Chairperson of Moroto District. Mine are two issues. One is on the expansion of the Moroto municipality. I want to encourage the members that let's take in the expansion of the municipality because it is going to bring for us many benefits. So let's take in the issue of the expansion of the municipality because we've not been receiving a lot of resources as other municipalities. And the other one is the role of women. If we look at this Land Awareness Week, I know that the issues of women have been coming out. If you look at the conflict at the family, we as women, we don't own land. We women are witnesses to land titles. We women and our children are just there to benefit out of this land when the husband dies. I want to encourage the men in this hall that, please, allow us as women to become co-owners of this land. We cannot only become signatories or witnesses to this land. So thank you very much.
In Karamoja, most of the people who are owning land are women in the form of gardens. You will never hear that is the garden of Lochap. They will say that is the garden of Christine, Mama so and so. So that one must be taken. That one must be taken.
Madam Speaker, you know, is an educated man, and so his ownership of land means that he's assuming that a woman is also part of that land, which is very wrong. For us women, we are saying that if we are sharing everything in our home, why are we not sharing the land also?
Now, Honorable, we want to tackle the issue of minerals and land.
I am here to make two announcements. Because one, it's like the investors who come from Kampala are big-headed investors who come here. That when they come here, they undermine the community and only depend on the power of government from Kampala. They pick their person from Kampala, come to Kaos office, sign, and go to the field. The next morning, when the community wakes up, you wake up and find somebody slashing your area, and they say, we have been given a license to operate here. People should be allowed to negotiate with an investor. Number two, now this one is a serious announcement. I want to tell the investors in Kampala, I know you are watching. Tell your godfathers that your days are numbered. Because we are beginning to form trusts in our community that will deal with you. Number two, I want to tell Ugandans that there is no free land in Karamoja. The reason why you see us settling in small manyatas is because we are forced to stay there by insecurity. And now that there is peace, we want to tell our people to scatter and go and settle in their land. So that when you come from Kampala and see our free land, don't salvate. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know what is more important about land in Karamoja. Currently, now when we are talking from here, there are some teams from Kenya want to grab our land from that way when you are going to Nakapriprit. They are claiming all that land on the eastern part of the road is for the Kenyans through the political wing of Amdak. So Nablatuk people and Mudat and the Pokot are soon losing their lives through that land.
Okay.
And for sure, the land belongs to Nablatuk. So since the security people are here, I want you to take note that rescue us and the Pokot.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Eko Edward. I'm the Principal Assistant Secretary in Kao's office.
Are you the one who sanctioned these people who go for mining in the communities? They
pass through our office.
So
but I want to make it, Madam Speaker, I want to give some highlights. I think the problem starts with the law itself. The Mining Act empowers the Commissioner, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, empowers the Commissioner with most of the powers. So the powers we have as a district is basically to ascertain if an application is made as per the Mining Act. The investor comes around and he comes to our office, and our work is to ascertain whether the area for the mineral right of prospecting and so forth is within our district. So we send a technical team in the natural resources to validate those beacons to find out whether they are within. So the law does not mandate us. Much of the law is within what? Within the commissioner. That's what I have. But I want to go on also to give some clarification again about the loopholes in the law. That's why my sister from ECHO, the Mining Act is the Mining Act is being reviewed. And some of the issues within the Mining Act are issues of prior informed consent, which was mentioned. Now, the current act does not give room for consultation. Consultation is only in one of the mining lists, in the process when you are getting a mining list. Now, there are many types of, we have prospecting, we have exploration. All this, the act does not give time for community to be consulted. So we are trying to encourage ECHO and other civil society organizations through this review of this Mining Act, that it becomes mandatory for all the investors for consultation, that before any license is issued, communities should be what? Consulted. That's what we're encouraging in that review of the Mining Act.
I want to present the key facts. There is manipulation of people of Karamoja in regards to land. We are manipulated during the process of acquisition. In a beam, land is exchanged for a motorcycle. It happened in the place called this disputed land near Teso, Nyarkidi. The land grabbers pick on the local people, deceive them, and they buy land. After buying the land, they disappear. Through this August House, I'm telling you, this type of transaction should be declared null and void. Now, the other issue is about land fragmentation. In my geography, land fragmentation was done in Western Uganda, in Buganda. They have divided the block of land completely. There is no more centimeters to divide. That virus is creeping in Karamoja. Why don't we leave Karamoja as a block? During campaigns, these people say we need block vote. We in Karamoja, we are saying we need the block land.
Let me say something about land use. I have a concern. We are allowing other people, investors, to use our land, including even other brothers of ours from other parts of Uganda. But it seems we are not being allowed to use land which is outside Karamoja. Mobility has been limited. We have had instances when we have had to quarrel with the communities of Acholi, Lango, Teso, and even Sebei, just because we move with our cows. If government recognizes pastoralism, then we should put system that have to recognize that mobility is our land use strategy. Pastoralism cannot survive if our animals do not have access to pasture and water, which is even outside Karamoja. I just want us to balance the boat. Use our land, we also use yours. And this also applies. This also has to apply to the mining companies. They should recognize that pastoralists move. Because as the cow put it clearly, that the Mining Act gives a lot of power to the commissioner. And the same Mining Act guarantees that the commissioner can go and the commissioner or any other authority can ensure that the land which is being used for mineral prospecting can be protected. Then how do we access pasture? Let us find ways where a pastoralist can use the same land which is even under prospecting.
Okay.
Then the second issue and the last.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we shall talk about what we can do as the people of Karamoja and the government to ensure that we solve the land problems in Karamoja. Good evening, viewers, those who are watching us within Uganda and those outside Uganda. We are glad you have made NTV your #1 station in this country. And we are also happy that NTV People's Parliament is your favorite program. Of course, it's the only program in this country that gives wananchi, the common person on the ground, the poorest of the poorest, an opportunity to speak about issues that affect their everyday life, their communities, and their country. In particular, at night, we are still discussing the land question in Karamoja sub-region, and we are seated in Moroto district. You are aware that last Saturday we couldn't finish this topic because of its contention, a lot of contentious issues that are in Moroto district about matters of land. Honorable members, you are welcome to NTV People's Parliament, Ekajana Outlaw People's Parliament. You are welcome. Last Saturday, there was an issue where a report was made to the land office in Moroto here about the surveying of land at night. And the land officer is here. Are you the chairman, or in which capacity?
Former Honorable Ogwell Sam approached me and told me about it, and I told him scientifically it's not possible that land can be surveyed at night. Using which machines? You see these allegations.
Did you go and find out from the people on the grassroots?
I am not supposed to go and find out from people on the grassroots.
Who is supposed to find out?
We have structures, government structures on the ground. We have area land committees in every sub-county, and we have district land board, of which members are from those sub-counties. So basically, we need to address real issues, but not just point fingers. There is no machine.
So you are trying to insinuate that what Honorable told us was a lie?
It was an allegation that he had, and I told him that is baseless. It is good for us to point at a specific land. Tell me which specific people or which land and who is affected. That is when we can start the investigation from there.
Okay.
But you cannot just start saying, you understand, Honorable Speaker?
I have got your point, Honorable Sir.
The issue of surveying land at night here in Moroto, it is something which is true.
It's not baseless.
Actually, I can give an example. In Koziroi, it is a mining site in Tapasabu County, whereby the company called Tororo does its work at night.
Is that surveying or?
Yes, I'm coming to surveying, because we have realized in the morning when we go there, we got stones, and we have even dug some of them. They are the sub-county headquarters. So, which means it is surveying. Because if you are not surveying, how comes that those stones come there? From where? From heaven to earth?
The land officer still wants to defend himself.
Honorable Speaker, we have two issues here. There is survey on mineral sites. That survey is deposited at a geological center. It is not ownership of land. It is for purpose of one getting a mineral license, either exploration license, either. So basically, it is nothing to do with ownership of land. We have not received any application.
Why are you murmuring, people?
We have not received any application from Toro Cement on land matters.
They want to give information, Mr. Land Officer.
I want to allude to the senior land management officer that not all the sub-counties and parishes in Moroto have established land area committees. That's one. So when you say that people are on the ground, yet you, a senior management officer, you are not in coordination and in tandem with those people, how do we believe in you? Two, we are trying to inform a common person on what's happening in Karamoja. We are not trying to say that there's a bias in your office. Please, if there is so, can you wake up and take your office in a very good way and serve the Karamojans and Ugandans passionately? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Madam Speaker, the law of this country is very clear. And I allude to the fact that land surveys can be done twice by 2 ministries. But to my fear, the Law on Mining Act allows people only to erect beacons and not mark stones. May I beg for correction? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, let me proceed to inform this House what is the major problem. This is a community that had cows in place, but cows are no more. There is abject poverty in the place. The only solace they have is on land. So it's a high time we reduce the pressure on land, because if somebody wants to take somebody to a relative to the hospital, what does he look onto? The land. If somebody wants to take a kid to school, what does he look onto? The land. So there is need for alternative income generating activities.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable. Honorable members, I implore you, Mr. RDC and Mr. RPC, together with the former Honorable, please look at this matter of surveying land at night. They have pointed out the company. Please do some investigations and allay the fears of the Wananchi here in Moroto district, because for them they still say the land is surveyed at night. The land officer is saying there is no surveying, and the Minister of Land is saying land cannot be surveyed at night. So let's, as a district, let's handle it separately. It has been brought up in People's Parliament, and now it is upon you to protect your people, Mr. RDC. Do you want to say something? Please.
I do agree with what they are saying, but our issue here in Karamoja is that they don't report. Because I don't think if they had reported to us and we are not acted, then that's where they would say they reported. The problem like now of this one of Tororo, the very people who are speaking here are the very ones who are with Tororo. They go to Tororo cement factory, they sneak at night, and they come back and they don't involve us, the leaders. And when now things go like that, is when they say no, they are serving at night. So it is very true that the survey is not allowed at night.
Okay.
But with individual intrigue, I think that's why they are able to do it at night when they don't, and then the locals don't want to inform us. But if they inform us, we shall act.
This is an opportunity for us to protect our land and to find a method of defending it. The land is gone. I am Abura Pereira, elder, former Olympic man. I'm still running. Karamoja, because of its calamities, it received no developmental initiative since the colonial up to the post-colonial, which is really a sign of marginalization.
But this government has invested a lot of money in Karamoja.
The money goes back to Kampala. Madam Speaker, thank you for that. I want to say, Bulisa is a district that has been found to have a deposit of oil, petroleum. And the Wananchi there, I'm told, are receiving a fat share. Here, we have two mineral types, the marble and limestone. Then there is gold, and then other minerals. If you were to put here a bridge, a weighing bridge, if you were to put here a census of the vehicle, carrying minerals from Karamoja, you would not expect a Karamojan to go for charcoal, to go for what? Now, the law dictates, which this land office dictated that this must be orders. Cross that, completely scrap it. We want it afresh. We want our input to that land hacked. As the Constitution was done in 1995, the
people were asked. Similarly, if there is mineral in Karamoja, as the development partners say, it's the richest deepest mineral in Uganda. We want to share. We don't want to walk in rags. If you went around, you are seeing us, Matia. You go out and see the Karamoja in rags, carrying a shackle from morning to sunset looking.
And yet you have minerals.
Mineral, lorries and lorries. Others go to Busia, Malaba. Others go to where? Now, a lot of our land, like vast land, vast, Kidepo National Park is there. The alarm control, the land for control, Bokora, Piano, Matheniko, it is there. Anyway, I wanted to say that game did us something. They do give us. Similarly, other mine project, other people who are trying to mine should give us a share. Madam Speaker, as I speak, whenever a mineral is discovered, the gun is never far away from that. It is never. If disarmament was done by a mouse, just negotiation. If there is a mineral, let us negotiate peacefully. Why do you come with a gun? So I am very, 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 very sad at heart when I see that people are mining with a component of the gun. Okay. We are very rich, madam. If your organization is powerful, tell them the Karimojong are not refusing with the mineral. Tell them the Karimojong want to have a dialogue and write their input. There is a cricket land, there is grazing land, there is other spaces of land that the Karimojong prohibit. Okay. Which should be respected.
Okay, thank you. They have heard.
Okay.
They have heard.
I would like to inform the previous speaker, the land management officer, that Karamoja has 52%. I remember when KDF introduced this, and you are saying cattle is no more. It's unfortunate to hear from you. Yet, pastoralism is a land use issue. It's a land use management property. Pastoralist, livestock, can regenerate back the landscape that is seen as degraded through tramping and reseeding. But I would like to inform you that we have 52% of this livestock that we feed Kampala, Mbale, and so on.
So there are still cows in Karamoja. Mr. Land Officer, there are still cows in Karamoja.
I would like to inform this House that over 500 million people in the Horn of Africa are benefiting from pastoralism. That's what we should know. And we are inclusive, and we are the 1.2 million people benefiting from pastoralism. So I want to come back to the rangeland management policy that has since remained in the shelves of the Ministry of Agriculture after transfer from Ministry of Lands. So I would like to inform this House also that this policy is likely to be the best policy that can protect the rangelands. And the rangelands are the lands that are being grabbed. These are the lands that are being grabbed. There is no any more land that is not being grabbed. It's the rangeland because it's being looked as a free land. They look at grazing as a non-economic activity. Yet, Kotido District Local Government hands about 900 million per month from livestock that feeds on that rangeland. Is grazing a land use? Is pastoralism a land use? And if not a land use, then we are discussing nothing about pastoralism.
Madam Speaker, I am again surprised when I hear the statement that government is going to abolish pastoralism.
There is no smoke without fire, Mr. Honorable Bo. There is no smoke without fire. Now confirm to these people as government.
Madam Speaker, in 2013 February, Cabinet itself approved the National Land Policy, which has a whole component on pastoralism and how we can move it ahead. So when I hear this, I'm actually hearing this for the first time here, and I'm wondering
where then that there is no such policy.
Well, government, as far as I know,
all the honorable member, government is speaking.
As far as I know, government is implementing the national land policy. Let us not listen to hearsay, but move ahead to implement what is in these documents that government has approved, so that we are able to move ahead, protect, and even complement the pastoralism.
A question from the speaker. Is there a law to abolish pastoralism in Uganda?
Honorable Speaker, I am not aware as a person from the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. And I think that we still have strategies to move and build and modernize the pastoralist community as stipulated in the national land policy.
And to his question, is pastoralism land use?
Yes, it is, and it is provided for also in the national land use policy. Even in the Land Act, if you look at section, I think it's section 43, it does provide for all these land use, these land uses that we have. So I want to allay your fear. Pastoralism is not on the way out. Thank you.
Thank you. That is from government, from Honorable Oba, from the Ministry of Lands, those who have been alleging that government is moving to abolish pastoralism. Please, those are just rumors and treat them as baseless. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, the people of Karamoja are still speaking. Welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Moroto talking about the land question. Honorable members, now we want to talk, summarize and find solutions on how the people of Karamoja can benefit from the minerals within this region.
The issue of land is for Karamoja is bigger than the issue we're discussing. This is a national issue that should attract all stakeholders at national level.
So what can we do as the people of Karamoja? What can government do to help us benefit from our land, develop from our land?
The process, I think, has already been highlighted, that the people of Karamoja need to be supported, one, to register their land, but also there is need to engage with the multinational corporate bodies who are investing to ensure that as they exporting the marbles and so on, 60% of the revenue government should be plowed back to Karamoja.
Information. Please let him finish his point.
I think I'm in the right platform, and I am saying from the proceeds government of Uganda is getting, 60% should be plowed back to Karamoja to improve service delivery. Madam Speaker, the issue of corruption needs to be addressed. The reason why land grabbing is high is that so many people have amassed wealth. And what now we are seeing is the effect of those who have amassed a lot of wealth now spending their money to take up people's land. So this has to be addressed with urgent need. We have the anti-corruption corruption code, but it is not doing enough. Government should move swiftly to ensure that the anti-corruption code is strengthened to deal with those who are amassing wealth and now affecting the locals.
I'm standing here for people who are mining in Moroto district and they are not remitting the royalty back to the people. That's why people are not benefiting from this royalty. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want the Ministry of Energy to go to these individual people who are mining here to remit back our royalty. Thank you.
Many actors have brought issues of land in Karamoja. Government institutions in the name of public interest has also brought conflict. Investors with their crude technological methods have been, elites have also played a role. Conservancy agencies have also had poor collaborative management and management plans that can bring harmony between the communities. Then the Ministry of Lands, this disease of structural adjustment program that was brought by IMF, removed the key staff that are supposed to bring and privatized surveyors, stenographers, and all this and that. So the issue of even speculators comes on board. Madam Speaker, allow me bring the solutions. Karamoja lacks data. Everyone says 60%, another one comes with 70%. If you bring that of Karamoja and put it in percentages, it will reach 400%, which is unstatistical. So we need to strengthen the issue of harmonizing data so that we are able to get critical areas where we need intervention. 2, we need frameworks that can help. One of it is on the side of investment. Strategic environment and social assessment frameworks are not existing. So there is nothing that governs the mining sector in one way or the other.
I have identified gaps in our debate. Number one, Madam Speaker, we tend to dwell too much on formal structures at the expense of informal structures. In our communities, we have structures. One of them is the institution of elders. And that's a very strong institution that could help transform the landscape. I therefore would like to propose to this August House, and especially to the development partners, that let us invest in the strengthening of the traditional institutions. After all, Section 88 of the Land Act, Cap 227, mandates them to play a key role in adjudication and mediation of land disputes. Number two, Madam Speaker, we also, in our debates, tend to recognize the fact that we have customary land tenure, but we don't talk about our customs. Madam Speaker, there is need now for us to have a body of principles and customary practices that govern land in Karamoja. Other parts of this country have done it. I hold in my hand, a little book which was developed by Ker Kwaro, actually, that is the traditional institution of Acholi land. And if they can do it, Karamoja can also do it.
Okay.
Just some proposals on already the issues that have been made. The first one is on speculators. I will propose that there is a need for both the formal and informal, structures to do something about this, such that, we avoid a situation where people get to Kampala, go and deceive the local communities, get, the papers and then write to Kampala and get what? The titles. We have also learned that these speculators also, I think they have their ears open. Once they know that some government project is going to pass here, they rush and buy land there. So this can stop that. Then the second one is on the range lands management and pastoralist policy. I think there is a confusion between the two. As far as we are aware in Karamoja, this is not yet in place. Can government speed up this? And if it has been passed or approved, as was said by an official from the Ministry of Lands, can it be disseminated? Can we have the copies as a proof of that? And then the other one is on the national peace policy. This is one of the documents where Ugandans spent a lot of resources, to consult countrywide, and it was taken up to the national level. It has also been shelved. Can something be done? Can we do something on this such that, we have a document that guides us in terms of operations? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Please, you have the platform.
Decentralize the decision making to the local community so that the local community hold power to get to lease or not to lease, and even suggest the years the investors must be there. That is one point. Second point, when you come to the aspect of, the investors you are talking, tantamount to land grabbing. After sometimes they will own the land for long. If the communities are not empowered to really talk for themselves and say, your time has ended, go. Please go, they will end up in taking up the land. What will that lead to? Because of mining, which has an effect on climate change, it will definitely make the land become barren. And the forest will be affected. And the forest is actually like a kidney of that filters your blood. So the forest and environment filters all what is needed, and the others go in the ground. Two, another thing I want to mention, the Commission of Inquiry on the ownership of land has never been to Karamoja. Let's make it a point that it must be done. Because if you don't do that, come to know how much land we still have in Karamoja, how much land has been grabbed. I've just been from the field.
guns are used. Karamojongs were disarmed. The guns are now used for getting land from Karamoja. I'm very shocked. The police comes in full uniform. The army comes with all those things. This is fresh information. I'm from Hereri. I've just come from the Hereri. Very, very painful. Okay. And even if it means the same to wildlife, there was a settlement, what is called containment system, that was discussed. I was in the State House with the president himself. We told them the report that was given by MIF was totally armchair research, and he didn't challenge the president until the second team was sent, and there was a containment system that was made. But what shows, is there any documentary that tells from wildlife that this place, please live for wildlife? This place settle here. It's not there. It's not the county. It's not the district. Not even the sub-counties. Not even the district land board. I rest my case.
Okay, thank you.
Point one, I recommend that really we have to create legal entities to be able to register our communal and customary lands. All landholding groups should be able to form legal entities. We need to build the capacities of area land committees to verify and adjudicate on these land matters. We need to map, demarcate, and register our customary land after we have created the legal entities, and that is the next step we are moving to as government. We really need also to protect our wildlife. Today in this house, I see only one person with a feather here. The last time I was in Karamoja region, many people had the ostrich feathers. Today it's only one, so we need to protect the areas where these wildlife are if we are to keep getting these feathers and other resources. We need to mediate. We need to mediate against the cases where we might find that people have got freehold or leasehold titles without the knowledge of communities. And this one requires the support of everybody, including the CSOs, last minute, who it is a very, very critical step. District land boards need to review their decisions in Karamoja and, if possible, rescind some of them. This has happened in Bolisa, for example, where all decisions from December 2010 up to 2017 were all rescinded. So we may need to carry out some sort of investigation, review, and boards advise the ministry. We need to implement the Land Act and the National Land Policy. They have provided very good recommendations that we have not done. We also need continuous sensitization amongst all stakeholders, especially the customary land owners, to give them the correct information on how best to own, manage, and use their land.
Okay,
and lastly, we need to have in place a coordination mechanism where all stakeholders, CSOs and government can come together. And I think the Karamoja Policy Development Policy Committee under OPM can provide a good basis where we can all share information and move in one direction to protect Karamoja for actually to have the land for the indigenous and future. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Our partners, in 1 minute.
Thank you again for this opportunity. And in terms of ways forward, we have been working in Rupa Sub-County with a model that we started in 2017. Unfortunately, they didn't speak for themselves today, but there will be another opportunity tomorrow in which we work with sometimes CLAs coming together. We think coming together is a better way of securing land, and at which point we can provide the support that's needed. When communities come together, then they can be able to assert their right over that which is truly theirs. We discourage so much, fragmenting society and institutions. We think that weakens us as in Karamoja in terms of tenure security. Thank you.
Okay, the representative of the president, please assure the people of Karamoja about their land and minerals.
I am assuring the people of Karamoja, especially of Moroto, that your land is safe, and of course, it is you to take care of your land, because now there is a tendency of you, after selling, you come and complain. So take care of your land and report all those who are actually surveying at night. Report to the relevant authorities, which will arrest them. So I wish you the best. Thank you.
It has been interesting, and I would like to say, Arakara Noi. Arakara Karamoja. Those who have been listening to us, thank you for being part of this parliament. You have heard the people of Karamoja, the Minister of Energy. Please, you have taken note of these people's concerns, Minister of Land, and even the Office of the President. You have taken note of the concerns of these people. It is my prayer that you do implement the policies that they have requested for, and also come and sort the problems of land here in Karamoja. I'm still your speaker, Agnes Nandutu, and as usual, I aspire to inspire you before I expire. With powers conferred upon me as the Speaker of People's Parliament, I adjourn this house until next Saturday.
The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.